How's it going, guys? And welcome back to another episode of Trailmakers Creations by ThatDomGuy. Welcome to 2021. Here we are. We made it. We made it through 2020. I know, it's impressive. Let's hope 2021 is a far better year. It wouldn't take much to make it a better year, would it? Alright, in this episode, we have a couple of viewer-requested builds for water animals. So, a couple of my favorite water animals being sharks, and as we can see here, our first build we're going to be taking a look at is a Manta Ray. So this is a pretty basic build, pretty straightforward, kind of flat. We've got some flappy action on the quote-unquote wings. And pretty basic design. Nothing too fancy. No buoyancy on this. As far as any buoyancy parts, we got some fins in the back. Got some hinges along the back here as well. And again, the danger point, which would be the anchors on the tail end. Not that that's going to ever get anywhere. Yeah, that was pretty straightforward. Let's jump into the water, see how it looks. So again, there's no buoyancy devices on this thing whatsoever. As you can see, WASD gives us our turning. And spacebar is our go and our swim. So again, it'll swim level all on its own, which is nice. Looks very much like a Manta Ray swimming in the water. Moves like a Manta Ray as well. Stays fairly horizontal. No weapons on this thing. You could put some weapons on it. Call it a battle ray. You could have battles for the domination of the oceans. So yeah, we got 12 propellers underneath, and that's about it for power. Turning is, of course, done by a helicopter engine underneath. And I will be doing a how-to video shortly on how to make a swimmer, basically, or how to make a wiggler, how to make the hinges move back and forth like that in a set pattern. So if you want to make a fish, if you want to make a snake, anything where you require the hinges to be moving back and forth, like flapping, maybe an ornithopter, that kind of thing as well. Lots of different applications for it, especially when it comes to the animal kingdom. So yeah, it does a little over 60k in the water. That was a cool build. Again, I'm going to probably try and build a bigger one than this, see how big I can actually build one, just make a giant Manta Ray. So keep an eye out for that. Alright, let's take a look at our next aquatic build. Alright, so our next build is a great white shark. It's not as smooth or as shark looking as I've seen some. But what I was trying to actually get was the realistic shape as far as the fins in the front pointing down and the swimming action. Of a big shark. So don't move super fast. Fairly relaxed in the water when they're swimming. So again, we've got our front fins down at like a 45-degree angle, like a real shark. And then again, using our hinges moving back and forth to give us our swimming action. Now this thing is armed. He's got 4 cannons, 4 tiny cannons that pop out underneath when you hold left shift. So you can take a bite out of your boat, chomp, chomp, chomp. So he moves fairly realistically. Watching some video on sharks to see how they propel nice and slow through the water like this. But yep, he again steers using a slight curvature of the head and the tail, but there's also a heli engine inside there as well, just to try and get some stronger steering. Sharks do have some agility in the water, so we want to try and replicate that somewhat. So yeah, this might be fun for fish versus boats, sharks versus boats. That'd be a good multiplayer. Get a couple of guys in boats, a couple of guys in sharks. See how long you can survive. I know Scrapman a couple of days ago did a submarines versus boat challenge. That was fun. This might be a little more difficult because it's even less control. Well, you're not as fast as a sub, I guess, so it'd be a little easier to control where you're shooting. So this basically just has some roll stabilizers inside so that it doesn't want to roll this to the left or to the right. A few, probably got at least 10 water propellers in there as well. Oh. Just wanted to try and build a realistic moving shark. Even the shadow. You go up a little bit so it blurs out a little. It moves very much like a shark. Very shark-like. So yep, that was another viewer request to build. Can you build some ocean animals? Well, these are about as ocean animals as it gets. And for our final build, we're going to be taking a look at yet another viewer request for a CX-131. Now, if you don't know what that is, let's take a look. So, an actual CX-131, but this is my version of what I tried to build. Again, difficult to make the wings behave properly. They still want to generate lift when they're facing straight up like this, but I got it to work somewhat. So, what we've got here, we've got propellers on some wings that are on some servos. Now also, you notice I have little propellers on the propellers connected to those helicopter engines to get some extra lift. So that's a little cheat. Great way to add extra lift to your propellers. We also have some propellers in the back here and some thrusters to try and keep it stable. There are some heli engines in there for stabilization and for steering. But it is kind of difficult to get something like this to fly in a straight line or to maneuver properly while it's also hovering, while it has wings that are facing upwards, because the wings want to generate lift in the direction that they're facing, and kind of makes controlling it a little bizarre. So let's try and fly it. This is a one-button VTOL, so number 1 will rotate your wings forward, your propellers forward. Spacebar is your lift. So we go spacebar, we pull back on the stick a bit. Wants to try and level itself out. As you can see, the front wants to lift itself. That's why we have number 1, which rotates those forward. Rotates our jets in the back forward and our propellers in the back forward as well, so that we can actually fly. As you can see in the back there, there's those couple of small propellers and those little micro thrusters, mini jets. Those actually rotate downwards when you go to land. Number 1 again, revert you back. Tap it on the old space bar. See how it wants to drift weird like that because the wings are facing upwards? That actually worked really well. You can see in the back there that those thrusters face forward. Then you hit number 1, they rotate around forward. Then you got your forward thrust. So it's got decent speed in the air, but again, the helicopter blades only allow you, they only want to move so fast forwards, right? So it's hard to get anything to move super fast. Whoa, we're going to wind up in the water. So that is my version of a CX-131 VTOL helicopter plane thingy. I don't know why, but it seems like a Canadian thing to me. Yeah, we'll rotate. Oh, and a horrible landing. Horrible landing. Just sad, I tell you. And of course, this is a lot smaller than an actual one. But yeah, that was kind of a challenge to build. Trying to rotate the wings around like that and still maintaining control was kind of difficult. But yet fun. I like the challenge. So yep, CX-131. That is available on the shop, just like the other two are available in the shop, the Great White and the Manta Ray. So if you want to have a look at those, download them, check them out, take them apart, and make your own versions. Alright guys, that's all I got for you today. Thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button, hit that bell notification. Don't forget to leave a comment. If you enjoy the content, check out some of this stuff on the end screen here. We'll see you in the next one. Ciao.